Hey y'all, it's March the 7th, 2017. I just watched a video. It was an extremely long, painful video to watch. And it was of Stephen Colbert. A lot of y'all probably know him out there. He's on the television. Stephen Colbert was doing a monologue, or I guess on his new show. I haven't been watching television for a long time, but I do remember the Daily Show and that he was part of that for a while. And I am aware that the Daily Show is absolute unfunny garbage now, and it's taking off. It's taking off like a brick in the water. All right, it's painful to watch this Daily Show losing mad ratings. And I also understand that Stephen Colbert, he moved over to this like late show. I don't know if he took over for David Letterman or what he did, alright, but he's got a late show, and I just seen a clip from it. Now here's the thing, I remember Stephen Colbert as being kind of humorous, alright. He did a good job, made people laugh and stuff, alright, back when he was doing his what essentially was a caricature, which that's what he got popular off of, doing a caricature of what you would call conservative, a typical conservative, in fact like a over the top conservative. That was his whole stick, and it was a character, and everybody knew that it was a character, and it was humorous, all right. Of course, that's not really who Stephen Colbert is, obviously, because he feels the complete opposite of the caricature that he was doing on the Daily Show. Alright? And he got all sort of popularity from it, and I had to admit he was funny in those days. Now, I seen him do this monologue. First of all, he's hanging off Donald Trump's balls like you wouldn't believe. That's where he lives, on Donald Trump's balls, right? For some reason, like, I didn't know. I mean, you think about David Letterman and stuff like that, and that's not exactly what David Letterman did. In fact, if I had to describe what I saw in the video down there as anything, it looked like Stephen Colbert was kind of like a watered down, just not funny at all Jay Leno. Like he was just doing a not funny, very vindictive Jay Leno, type of monologue. It was a real bad look. But here's the thing, alright? A lot of us here on the internet, we pick and choose what we want to talk about, what we want to discuss, and that becomes us. We kind of focus on those sort of things, and we let it take us away to wherever it is that we're going to go to, whatever it is, topics, however it is we like to act, whatever it is we like to put on the camera for people, that's our own style and stuff, and we get carried away by it. We dive right into it, and it's natural. It's a beautiful thing and stuff, because we're all individuals and stuff. Lots of times you can get, say you get a lot of subscribers and a lot of views and stuff, you'll get the idea that, well, what you're doing is real good, so you're going to do more and more and more of it. All right, that's going to become you and what you do. All right, and this many times comes from a very genuine state, you know what I'm saying, as far as people, content creators on YouTube and stuff. You got Stephen Colbert, right? He was on the television. He done the exact same thing. He captured the hearts and minds of a lot of people doing his caricature from the Daily Show. You know what I'm saying? That's where he really made his bones. Alright, so fast forwarding to now he's doing something else, right? He's on the Late Show doing exactly the opposite of what he had been doing. And how he thinks that that's successful, well, that's an interesting trick. Because, see, now, people are paying him all sort of money to do what he's doing. And not only that, they're going to pack a room full of an audience that are going to howl and cackle at everything you say, no matter what you say. So he thinks that he's still being relevant and that he's still very successful in doing what he's doing. He's not. right? Because it's not funny. At a certain point of vindictiveness and just like total disdain for the truth and actual facts, and kind of stretching them and trying to manipulate them, like at a certain point, you know what I'm saying? It's not funny no more. Right? Even if you were to agree with a lot of his stances, it's just simply not, the humor isn't there, the humor aspect. And that's because a lot of the truth is missing. There's truth in humor, you understand? And it's not funny what he's doing, but he thinks he's successful. And see, that's a very worldly thing, because if he were to try to come up like that right now, he would not make it. There's a lot of people who do not like Trump who are making it as comedians, all right? And they're very widely acclaimed, and they're doing well for themselves. Stephen Colbert would not be one of them, not doing what he's doing, because it's not funny. All right, and you know what's interesting is Stephen Colbert made his bones doing a caricature on the Daily Show, being overly conservative, overly what they would call right wing. All right. The whole entire time, people knew that Stephen Colbert obviously did not agree with the caricature that he was making, right? So that's where he was successful. And you know, if Stephen Colbert had one sense of logic, he would continue to do that character. People would still understand that he does not agree with what he's saying, but he could be way over the top now. He could be way over the top as he wanted to in the Trump era. Alright? And people would find it daggum hilarious. In fact, I probably would still find it funny. And meanwhile, the whole time, it's not lost on the viewer that, yeah, you don't agree with what you're saying. You're just being very funny. Alright? And Stephen Colbert went ahead and ditched that. Who told him to do that? Was that his idea, to switch it back onto, oh, this is the real Stephen Colbert and I'm not funny at all? Whose idea was it for him to do that? The whole entire clip was very painful to watch. They had this token black dude playing the bass or the guitar or something like that, laughing and saying some gibberish, and it was just painful. It was painfully racist, or whatever you want to call it. It just... it wasn't funny. And Stephen Colbert could be incurring a whole bunch of success if he was just to continue what he was doing. And that's funny. So instead, he's getting a pretend success. He is getting paid real money, very real money. And people are pretending like he's funny still, and packing an audience of people who will howl, like I said, and cackle at every little thing that he's going to say, regardless of how funny or not funny it is. All right? And he's being duped into thinking that. But meanwhile, you know, we got people, just small people out here, and they're speaking and they're reaching other people. I've reached people from my channel and stuff. I talk to very interesting people. Right? We're actually incurring the real success. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because a lot of times we're not financially compensated for all that, but you had to get over all that and stuff. Like, we are incurring the real success, and we're doing it simply by either being very genuine, or perhaps we got a caricature, but just continuing to do what works, doing what people like. That's how we're successful, because we also like what it is that we're doing. That's that stuff we do like, and so that makes us successful regardless of the money that's involved. Stephen Colbert is a miserable, terrible failure. And honestly, I don't dislike Stephen Colbert. All right, as a friend, I would tell him, go back to your caricature stuff. We understand you don't like Trump. The caricature stuff was way more funnier. Way more funnier. This is March the 7th. 2017, and I'll holler at y'all about some more stuff later.